Yo, what's going on, Chad? Did we eat today or what? I had a pretty good day in the stock market today. Um, and I wanted to make a video here and share my harmonic technical analysis and where I see the market going tomorrow. I'm going to give analysis on SPY, the triple Qs, the Dow Jones, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, AMC, and GameStop. And if time permits, I'll probably go over some of the trades I got into today, where we had a couple of 100% gainers. One of being a firm and PayPal. But having said that, let me first preface by saying I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So having said that, let's get to it. Jumping here on SPY 1 day chart here, we finished the day at 373, 374.22, excuse me, where SPY finished around negative 0.084 for the day. I did make a video yesterday saying that if SPY did lose 374.67, that it would possibly start testing 371. We got as low as 373.44, where we did still close up below 374.67, and I do see further continuation to the downside to at least test 371. Testing 371 would be about a percent and a half tomorrow for the SPY, so it's possible that I could test it tomorrow, possibly fill this gap here at between 369 and 370. I also wanted to go quickly here, share the HPC indicator, where I'm going to turn off these show ABCD pattern and uncheck these three: hide inside pattern, minimize pattern overlap, and mute overlap patterns, where you could essentially turn these on to look at previous points and previous patterns that were generated, and you could see where those targets were to basically show where signs or levels of support and resistances are. So as you could see here on this shark pattern, just kind of hard to tell, but you could see that the OB of the shark pattern is at 371.41, which coincidentally, if you go to the 2-day chart, it'll give you that same level. So we are probably going to come down here and test this within the next day or two. You can go back to even previous other patterns to see if there's more levels of support. If we lose 371, you probably have 360 would be another level of support before we go back to hop at 357, which coincidentally will be at this drop of this descending broadening wedge. I do see further continuation tomorrow, and if we want SPY to come back up, it would need to bounce off 371. Judging by just the way the volume is picking up, it's still strong to the sell side. So I will be very cautious tomorrow. So we will see what that does. Jumping over to the triple Qs. The triple Qs is also at a critical level here. Let me mute a lot of this stuff here because it's overlapping. So the triple Qs was down negative 1.23% for the day. I also mentioned in my previous video, if it lost 280, that it would probably continue to 275. Fortunately for the triple Qs, it did close above 280 barely, but I do see again further continuation to test 270, 275. We are in a critical state in the market here, where essentially it's creating these ABCD patterns here that are possibly forming. Jumping over to the SPY here, I forgot to share that, but essentially these all look kind of the same, but I drew this out earlier where this ABCD pattern looks like to be playing out, where we would expect a reversal here, right? The completion of point D, which coincidentally would be around that fill, on that gap fill, where maybe HSI, RSI, and everything. HSI would trigger an HSI arrow to the upside, but the triple Qs also looks a little bit like it still has some continuation to the downside. I am expecting tomorrow it to probably test, if we turn on these levels here, mute some of these because it's a lot of overlap. So tomorrow we would probably, yeah, see we're below hop on this shark pattern. So we have anything over here 286. Yeah, we're pretty. Yeah, if we need triple Qs to hold 280 tomorrow. Otherwise, there is going to be continuation. So this is one of the Nasdaq should be in everybody's watch list to this indication of where the market is going to go. Having said that, we're going to go to the Dow Jones because the triple Qs also, by the way, still has some room for it to reach the June lows. But if it continues down, it will be very concerning. The Dow Jones is about to approach its June lows, right? It was down negative 0.43% for the day. It closed at 352. The June low was here at 296.39. So we are about $4 and change away from the June lows. We did fill this gap here. Close that out. And it's looked like it's following this deep crab where it's doing it did get its type 1 reaction right here back in from 14 where the pattern was generated at completion of point D, right? You got that target 2 type 1. Now it's looking like it's going to do that type 2 reaction where it might test hop, right? So we will see. Volume is decreasing a little bit, but it's another the Dow Jones is something that you should be watching as well. I do see further continuation. RSI still has some room to go, HSI as well, and but yeah, we will see what that happens tomorrow. Jumping over to Apple here. Apple is closed down with a doji here. It closed for the day at 152.74, and it's holding strong above this target 1 at 152.59. Volume is decreasing here to the sell side, to the buy side. Volume is decreasing, so it will be. I keep an eye out for Apple tomorrow, right? Where I do believe that if it loses, I believe it's 150, 148. Yeah, that's right. 148. We can continue further downside to like 145. The weekly is giving us. That it's below the 50 EMA here, and yeah, that's not looking good for a lot of the tech stocks here. This on the 3-day, Apple has a crab pattern here where it's looking like it's testing its target 1 here at 146.79. After that, it will probably go to 135. So it will be interesting to see where Apple goes, as it still has some room to go to the downside up for its June lows, whereas comparatively other tickers like Microsoft have reached their June lows and are actually below them. So jumping into Microsoft, Microsoft finished the day up 0.85%. It closed at 240.98, but it did go lower than yesterday's low. Today's low was at 237.57. Still, volume is increasing here on the buy side, but HSI kind of bounced off, never hit oversold. It is oversold on the RSI, so I think today was a very good day and for at least the market because of Microsoft. I believe Google, Meta, what else? Google, Meta, Microsoft were all green today, which kind of held up the stock market a little bit. But jumping over to Tesla, that's something I want to share because that's another ticker that we should be watching. Tesla here on the 1 day here is creating a inverse head and shoulder here, right? Here's the left shoulder, the head, and possibly here the right shoulder. I do believe we could still see probably continuation to 279.29 of this XA at the 1.27 fib ratio of this bearish butterfly, which would also be where the low here was at this left shoulder. So if we are expecting a market bounce here, this would be an indication that maybe Tesla would complete this inverse head and shoulders and continue to the upside. But the stock market doesn't have to do what I think it's gonna do. So this pattern could be also invalidated if we lose probably 279.20 if we continue downside. That's what I have for Tesla. I'm keeping an eye on 279.20 tomorrow. It currently closed the day at 288.59, was down for the day, negative 4%. You could tell RSI is still in the midline here, so it still has room to go to the downside, as well with HSI and AMP RSI. Now jumping over to AMC, everybody's favorite stock. I had this trend line here. This trend line here at 792 was basically the line where it crossed to all-time highs back in like May, right? We lost that today. We also fell below this trend line from 12th of May up until the most recent point at September 7. So we did close above this. I do see some type of bounce here where I think at 750, if AMC loses 750, that would be concerning and possibly testing $6. Looking at this bullish bat pattern here, 613 would be the XA at the 886 of this bullish bat pattern. So I do have a target there at of 750 where it should bounce off of if it wants to. Otherwise, we are going to $6.13. I think that's also depending on what the market is going to do, but we'll have to wait and see. Next ticker I want to talk about is Gme Gamestop here. Also for the day, it was down negative 8% for the day, closed at 24.70. If we're looking at the 1 day here on this crap pattern, it fell below ABCD at 26.74, and it looks like it may want to retest 21.49 of this XA at the 1.618. This is also approaching RSI oversold and HSI as well, and AMP RSI. Go over to the 3 day, gives us a better picture here of this crab pattern where we did get the type 2 reaction here pretty fast, and then we did this type 1, I guess. I'm sorry, type 1, and then we're getting a type 2 right here. It did fall below that 27.57 where maybe it could test 1786 at that hop, but GameStop does have a lot of support in where it's at right now. A lot of the support, as you can see here on even the daily, has 24, 23, 21. So there's a lot of volume that needs to kick in for GameStop to lose support. So essentially, maybe I could see maybe 21.49 at the worst if it can get down there. But it is approaching oversold on RSI and AMP RSI, HSI and AMP RSI. So having said that, like I'm gonna go back to the SPY because I think it's important to look at. Quickly, I just wanted to cover the VIX. The VIX did close at 27.34. It's kind of having a hard time here going up to 30. I think 30 would be a key level where it would it would like to retest 30. Anything above 24, like I said, is a bit bearish for the market. We would want VIX to go below 24, possibly 19 later on, but that is not happening anytime soon. Possibly test tomorrow 28.95. It did close above the last doji here, so from the previous day. So we'll see what that's gonna do tomorrow. So jumping over back to the SPY here, removing this ABCD pattern here. For tomorrow, I do see maybe a quick movement to the downside, and then possibly finish above 371 if that's what it wants to do. That's depending on volume. Tomorrow is options expiration, so there's that. So note again that the key levels here for for SPY is 371 still. It needs to bounce off of that. Otherwise, we are going to continue lower. I also wanted to cover just quickly AFRM here. AFRM took some puts to the downside today. Look at the intraday chart here. We had a good day with AFRM. It went as low as what was the low for today? The low was 1975, where I did buy those puts around like 21. So those printed about almost 150% for the day. The same thing with PayPal. PayPal was low of the day was 87.66. This was another 100% gainer that I got into buying puts here. Lastly, the big winner for today that's very concerning as well, and you got to watch out because it's taking all the microchip companies here. AMD. Let me look at the one-day chart here so you guys can see what I am looking at. So AMD here has this alt pat right here, where it failed. I guess it never did. You would consider a type 1 reaction if it tests target 1. It never did that, and now it's looking like it's doing a type 2. I had this trend line here, 70-10, that I said that if AMD broke that with volume, it would have a cascading effect, like a falling knife. And it went, as soon as it hit 70, went below 70-10, it went as low as 69.17. This was another 110% gainer for the day that I got into early in the day. It's very concerning because this is already at its I guess July lows. The July low was at 71.60. It's now at 69, close 69.50 for the day, and it finished. It also closed this gap here back in July of 2020 between $71 and $73. Now, what's concerning here is that it has no support here. It literally could free fall all the way to fill this gap down to $62 and $64. It is approaching here June COVID levels, right? Where out of support, if you generate this, the last point of support here would be 69.22, and there is no support after that. Where you could find support is probably at the $60 range, and then hop at 47.67. This is very concerning for AMD, where it can go very, very low. You have here target 1, also target XA right here, $56. Hop would kind of be where your gap fill is. Target 1 would be $50, and then target 2 would be $44 for resistance, for support. AMD does not look good. You can see this falling down rapidly, and that's what intraday what it did. Go back to the 1 minute here. So this is the level I was watching here at 70.10. What I said, if it broke down here, it would just continue going down, and that move from $70.10 was a 1.27% move to the downside, 1.3% move to the downside. So those puts here that I got printed a lot. So I'm gonna keep my eye on AMD again, Nvidia as well, because I think it would bring Nvidia down as well. But having said that, guys, tomorrow should be interesting. We are at critical levels again in the market, so be careful out there, and good luck tomorrow, everybody.